You up for a race?
It depends. You up for a challenge?
Haven't turned one down yet.
Winner gets a trophy.
Haven't heard that in a while. You'll have to win first.
Ready, set,
Mabuhay or in Kapampangan, luwid kayo. Welcome back to another video. It's me, Kirby Araullo, your friendly Pinoy historian and culture bearer. And if you are new to my channel, in this channel, I make videos about our people's history, our people's culture, and everything in between. So don't forget to like, share this video, comment down below, and please subscribe. So for today's video is yet another breakdown of the mythologies shown in the animated series Netflix. Trese on Netflix. But anyway, today is all about episode 2. So if you haven't seen my other videos yet, my other reactions, reviews, and breakdowns of the mythologies shown in Trese, check out the links up here or down below to watch them. But do not worry, in this series of breakdowns, I will try my best not to give away the plot. So minimal spoilers if there's any spoilers at all. So we'll focus more on some of the mythologies and cultural elements and themes in each episode. And also again, I'll be speaking from my perspectives as a Filipino historian and a Kapampangan and Tagalog culture bearer. So if there's anything that I missed, or if there's anything or something that you would like to share from your own culture, your own roots and backgrounds, please don't be shy and let us know in the comments below. Basta laging tandaan, bawal ang mga haters at trolls. Let us all learn from one another. So without further ado, let's do the breakdown. And in no particular order, let's start with the wind. In episode 2, we meet Hana and Ami, the wind elementals. They were named after Habagat and Amihan, the monsoons. Hana, Habagat, Amihan, Ami. Hana, Ami, Habagat, Amihan. Habagat in Tagalog is also known as Abayat or Abagat or Sigwa in Kapampangan. It is the hot and humid southeast monsoon or the south wind, while Amihan in Tagalog or Amihan in Kapampangan and Amianan in Ilocano is also known as the north wind, the cooler northeast monsoon, as opposed to the hotter and humid southwest monsoon aka Habagat. And Amihan was also believed to be a god or a goddess in the different cultures in the Philippines. For example, in the Tagalog mythology, Amihan is considered to be among the first beings in the universe, along with the supreme god Bathala and the goddess of the sea Amansinaya. So in some folklores, Amihan and Habagat were believed to be the children of Bathala, the playful children of Bathala. But in some other legends, they were also said to be lovers. But regardless of the mythologies, both Amihan and Habagat are real winds that really affected the lives of our people since the beginning of time and to this day. Amihan and Habagat were the monsoons, and the monsoons are very important to our ancestors, not just in the Philippines, but throughout Southeast Asia. Actually, throughout Asia, from India to China and Japan with Southeast Asia in between. Because these were the trade winds, the wind that dictated the direction of trade and other exchanges between the ancient civilizations of our islands and our neighbors. And it was said that the English word monsoon came from the Portuguese word monso, but the Portuguese themselves borrowed the term from the Arabs, from the Arabic mausim. And I do apologize if I mispronounce any of these, but anyways, the Portuguese were the first major European colonial power in Southeast Asia. And you can learn more about their forgotten connections to our Luzones ancestors a full decade, 10 years before Magellan landed in the Visayas. You can watch it in my videos about the discovery and the conquest of the Philippines. So check out the links up here or down below for that full playlist. Now back to the monsoons. The monsoons also dictated the changing of the seasons in our motherland, from wet to dry, and thus it affected the planting of our crops and the harvest of our food. In fact, this is why ube today is closely associated with the Christmas season in the Philippines, because traditionally, ube was only harvested during the coming of Amihan or Amihan or the North Wind. And you can learn more about some of the pre-colonial roots of our Filipino Christmas traditions in the links below. So the monsoons also dictated the coming of the typhoons, which now leads us to the next mythical being in the world of Treses, episode 2. Let us now meet Bagyon Lectro and family. The Bagyon tribe in the world of Trese are the lightning elementals, and it was said to be based on the different gods of lightning in the different mythologies in the Philippines, like Kilat in Kalinga, Kayat in Bugkalot in Ilonggo, Kidlat in Tagalog, Linti in Bicolano, Ribong Linti in Sunodnon or Panay Bukidnon, and Linting Habog-Habog in Capisnon. And from what I know, lightning was also one of the primary weapons often used by the supreme gods, the paramount gods in the different cultures of our islands, such as Kaptan of the Visayas, Bathala in Tagalog, and Apong Sinukuan of the Kapampangans. Oh, by the way, if you're interested in the etymology and the mythology surrounding typhoons, check out my video about the Bagyo in the links up here or down below. There's both an English and a Tagalog version of the video, so check them out in the links below. Actually, in Kapampangan, we have different words. We actually have different terms that refers to the lightnings. One is alti, and alti refers to the lightning bolt that hits the ground, while kildap is used to refer to the lightning or the flash of lightning without hitting the ground. And the one that our Kapampangan ancestors feared the most was the alti, or the thunderbolt, the lightning that hits the ground, or anyone or anything on earth. They actually believe it to be as a red dragon who lives or resides inside the eyes of Apong Sinukuan. And Apong Sinukuan, for those who may not know, is the sun god or the supreme god and the paramount god of gods in the Kapampangan mythology. So, traditionally, Apong Sinukuan is often depicted as a fiery white phoenix who would seek out evil beings and evildoers on earth and punish them by striking them with his almighty alti or lightning. And in Kapampangan, one of the worst curse one could cast to another person is Dagpanaka ng alti, which literally means may lightning strike you, or may lightning land on you, or wishing that Apong Sinukuan would strike you with lightning. And that is why we also have the phrase digpaningalti to refer to someone who was struck with lightning but miraculously survived, which to some of our elders was believed to be someone who was partly demon. But if they died, they would be referred to as mayalti. And today, dagpaningalti, digpaningalti, or dipaningalti, and mayalti are all part of our modern-day Kapampangan curse words. And it was also said that this was exactly the reason why in our culture, we do not point with our fingers. It is the reason why we point with our lips or other parts of our body instead, which we actually saw Crispin and Basilio do in episode 2. And our ancestors believed that pointing with your fingers, with your index fingers, was meant to be summoning the almighty alti or the almighty lightning from Apong Sinukuan to strike you, to kill you. Now, not everyone was actually able to successfully summon the lightning strike. Only the spiritually blessed people like the Oklubans were able to do it. But nevertheless, it was actually, and still is considered to be rude and insulting and disrespectful to point at somebody using your index finger. If you think about it, to this day, our people still consider it very insulting and disrespectful when people point to you using their index fingers. Hence why we now point using our lips. It is also worth noting that in Kapampangan traditions, the sword kalis, also known as keris or kris in other languages, was believed to be the physical embodiment of the alti, the physical embodiment of the lightning. Because again, the keris, the karis, or kris were considered to be a very spiritual swords or weapons. And in the Kapampangan culture, it was believed that only the spiritually blessed panday or blacksmiths can successfully create a kris or a kalis or keris. But we can talk more about this in future videos, about the significance of the alti or the lightning and the mythology surrounding the kris or the kalis, the uniquely Southeast Asian family of swords and daggers. And finally, last but definitely not the least, let's talk about the beastly Tikbalang. Now, there's actually quite a variety of mythology surrounding the Tikbalang in the different cultures of the Philippines. So today, we all know the Tikbalang as a scary beast, a half-human, half-horse, with a human torso, horse legs, horse feet, and the head and the face of a horse. But if we actually look at older descriptions of how our ancestors saw and described the Tikbalang, they actually take on many forms. Some say it was similar to the Tiyanaks or even the Duendes. But this is because the Tikbalang of our ancestors may actually choose to take on different shapes or forms, depending on what they want or what they feel like. So again, they can shift their shapes. They're shapeshifters. And it was said that their favorite form was that of a gigantic tall human with spikes on their head and disproportionate limbs or legs. And in Kapampangan, the Tikbalang was actually a class of demons who were believed to be the guardians of the mystical treasures. They were not necessarily evil or mischievous demons, but rather the mythical guardians of the mystical treasures. Traditionally, the Kapampangan Tikbalang was described to be usually having the upper body or torso of a human, complete with abs, with the 8-pack or 6-pack or 10-pack abs, with the muscular arms. And just like the Tikbalang today, they were said to have the gigantic hind legs of a horse. But unlike today's Tikbalang, the ancient Kapampangan Tikbalangs did not have the face or the head of a horse. Instead, they had the head and the face of a bird, a majestic bird, not a horse. And the most famous Tikbalangs in Kapampangan mythology and folklore were the Tikbalang Kuyog, or literally the twin Tikbalangs. Yes, they were twins just like Crispin and Basilio in Trese, but this time they were Tikbalangs. And the Tikbalang Kuyog were actually the twin demon guardians that appears in the traditional Kapampangan folklore, particularly in the story of Tumaring and the Wicked Datu. And in this story, the Tikbalang Kuyog guarded the sacred cave filled with powerful and magical treasures. They guarded it mostly from the greedy humans who wanted to use it for their own advantage. They were not necessarily feared or seen as evil. They were just doing their jobs, their duties, and responsibility to guard the sacred relics and the mystical treasures. Actually, in the older mythologies in the present-day province of Rizal, the Tikbalangs were also believed to be the guardians of the enchanted kingdoms. Just like in Kapampangan, they were seen as benevolent guardians doing their duties and not evil. So perhaps that's why they were believed to be, playing tricks on humans, how they usually lead and magically causes humans to get lost in the woods or anywhere. Perhaps they were really just doing their jobs, their duties to prevent humans, evil humans, from reaching the magical treasures and the enchanted kingdoms they were meant to protect. There's actually a lot more stories and mythologies, fascinating mythologies about the Tikbalang that I want to share. Like more stories from our elders and culture bearers. But let's save those in future videos. Medyo napahaba na kasi. So maybe we can make a special video just about the Tikbalangs, about the different folklores and the roots of the Tikbalang. Kaya naman, comment down below which of these mythical beings you would like to see a separate video on. And like I always say, the Philippines is a beautiful country with diverse people, diverse but interwoven cultures and mythologies. So if there's something that I missed or something that you would like to add from your own culture, your own roots and background, please don't be shy and let us know in the comments below. Basta laging tandaan, bawal ang mga haters. We are all here to learn from one another. And there you have it, a brief breakdown of some of the mythologies shown on episode 2 of season 1 of Trese on Netflix. But of course, before we go, today's shoutout goes to Justin Arios from Toronto, Jong from Washington DC, Pixie Dust from Bohol, Wakaka Bravo from Malaysia, and special shoutout to Gat Gabriel Gat Bonton aka Dato Katutuan from Pampanga. Dakala salamat, luwid kayo. And that is it for me today. If you like this video or learned a thing or two, don't forget to like, share this video, comment down below, and please subscribe. And special thanks to all my patrons for helping me make more videos like this. And for those who want to help me make more videos like this, show your support and please be my patron or get a copy of any of my books or coloring books or any of the merch link down below. Maraming salamat po. Daghang salamat. Magsukol. Syukran abenal. Terima kasih. Agyaman. Dakal pong salamat. See you next time. O in Tagalog, kita-kits. And in Kapampangan, Mikitix.
I do not lose to inferior humans!
But you still lost, which means you still owe me a trophy.
I am Maliksi, Prince of the Tikbalang. I owe you nothing!